Yo guys, what is going on? It's Luki here and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys the best UZI or UZI, whatever the hell, however the hell you pronounce this weapon. I don't even know how to pronounce this weapon's name. I'm pretty sure it's UZI or, no, is it UZI? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's UZI. I might be wrong, but yeah. I'm going to be showing you guys a best class setup for this weapon. Now this weapon is probably one of the worst SMGs in the game, I'm not gonna lie. It is probably one of the worst in the game. However, it is still very good, especially if you stick the right attachments on it and put up the right class up for this weapon. You can turn this weapon into a pretty decent weapon. The gameplay in the background is just a random game of shipment. I got around 80 kills with this weapon, so it is pretty decent. It is actually a pretty fun weapon to use, and I do enjoy using it. It's a small, nice little, cute little weapon, and it is still pretty good for what it is. Anyway, I'm just going to get straight into the class setup. So first up, I like to go ahead and use the last barrel that you unlock. This increases the damage range, the bullet velocity, and the recoil control. So it is a very good weapon. Of course, this weapon doesn't really have that great of a range on it because it's probably one of the smallest weapons, and as it is small, it doesn't really have much power behind it, so the bullets obviously don't travel as far, and therefore it has quite a low range on it. So it is very helpful to put this attachment on, because it will help you obviously have a better range, and you guys can get those longer range kills a little bit more easy. Also, it increases the recoil control on this, which is very nice. Now on this weapon, it doesn't really have too much recoil anyway, so that shouldn't really be a problem, but it still increases the recoil control, so it's going to be that little bit better with the accuracy, and you guys are going to be absolutely dominating with this weapon, especially if you guys use this attachment. Anyway, on to the next attachment, and that is going to be the Cronin LP495, or whatever the hell it's called. But basically, it's the very first Reflex Sight that you actually unlock on this weapon, and that is very good. Now, personally, this is my favourite reflex sight or favourite optic sight to use on pretty much every single weapon that I do use. It's very nice, it's not too big, not too small, it's got a very nice little dot in the middle, and it's very easy to use, and in my opinion, it's probably the best reflex sight. That's completely my opinion though. Of course, you guys can go ahead and use whatever sight that you guys like. There are a bunch of different sights that you can obviously use on this game, so whatever you feel like, whatever you like, you guys can go ahead and obviously use what you want. Next up, it's going to be the Nostoc, which increases the movement speed and the aim down sight speed. So that is very handy. With this weapon, it already is a pretty fast weapon because it is very small, so obviously it is of course very light as well. So you're going to be moving around pretty fast with this weapon. You're going to be aiming in pretty fast with this weapon. The only slow thing about this weapon that I have found is the fact that it has a pretty slow what's it called? A reload, that's it. So it's got a pretty slow reload in my opinion. So that can sometimes be the only really disadvantage to this weapon that I found. Now you can of course counter this by sticking on extended mags, so you have to reload less often, or you can of course go ahead and use the sleight of hand perk and swap out one of the attachments that I have used for this video. Now personally, I didn't really think that, of course yeah, the reload is pretty slow, but I don't think it's slow enough to have to put a sleight of hand perk on it, so instead I just used a extended mags or something like that. Anyway, next up is going to be the stippled grip tape. Now once again, this speeds up the weapon a little bit. It increases the aim down sight speed, and it also increases the sprint to fire speed, which is very helpful in my opinion. It speeds up the weapon, makes you aim down sight a little bit quicker, and of course it also makes you able to basically fire your weapon after you have sprinted a lot quicker. So usually, if you guys have noticed, when you are sprinting, after you have been sprinting, it can sometimes be quite slow to ready up your weapon and start shooting, but basically this will speed up that process so you guys can be the first out of you and the opponent to shoot. This will help you win a lot more of these gunfights because you are basically just going to be aiming in quicker than the enemy, and you're also going to be able to start shooting before the enemy, and this will help you win a lot more gunfights. Anyway, the next attachment, like I just said previously, was of course going to be extended mags. Now you can of course go ahead and put on extended mags, or you can go ahead and put on sleight of hand. It is completely up to you, but personally I prefer to go ahead and stick on 50 rounds. That is pretty good. You get 50 bullets in your magazine, which is pretty nice. On to the perks that I like to use on this class. It's going to be pretty much the same perks as I usually do. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you would have noticed that I always use EOD, I pretty much always use Ghost, and I pretty much always use Battle Hardened. Now the reason for this is because everyone on the other team is going to have some kind of explosive. They're going to have some kind of tactical, like stun or a flash or something, and a lot of the time you will of course go ahead and be grenaded, claymored, proximity mined, streaks will fall on top of you, you're going to get stunned, you're going to get flashed. So this is going to help you a lot, and it's going to basically help you survive a lot longer and just die a lot less often, really. So I do recommend you guys giving them a go. Now for the second perk, which is Ghost, I like to use. I only use Ghost if I'm playing on myself. So if I'm playing on myself, I like to use Ghost because basically sometimes my teammates can obviously be pretty rubbish, and because of that the enemies can get easy score streaks. So I do like to go ahead and stick on Ghost, but it is completely up to you. If you guys do want to go ahead and use Ghost, you can of course go ahead and use something else. If I'm not using Ghost and I'm playing with a party, I do like to use something like Point Man or Kill Chain, which basically allow you to get your streaks a little bit quicker. Now the lethal and the tactical are completely up to you. You can either use a claymore like I use, a stim shot like I use, or you can use a stun or a grenade or whatever you guys want to. Anyway, thank you for watching. That has been it for today's video. If you enjoyed or if this video did help you out, please go ahead and drop a sub and a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.